The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Swagatam. Today is Sthiravasaha Shanivasaraha Dinankaha Ekadashaha. So it is the 10th of June. Prathama Bhagaha Vyakaranam Bhagaha. We'll be continuing with the Tinganta Prakaranam. So the Bhadi Ganaha. Let us.
Basically, it's 11th.
It is 11th of June. Did I say Ekadasha? Correct, right? Ekadasha? 11th of June. 11th of June, first half of the class. Sumangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramenabhyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Muddhara. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasranama Tattvalyam Rama Nama Varanane. Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnama Iti. Atha Shri Maheshwar Sutrani. A I Un Rilrak E Ong I Ouch Hayavarat Vanya Nyamanga Nanam Jabang Garadash Jabagaradash Kapha Chata Chata Tav Kapai Sha Sar Hal Iti Maheshwar Sutrani. Before we start again, thank you to all those people helping me in these classes. This is a team effort for Radha and Kumud and Yulia and Vasu with the recordings, also Ravi and Kalpesh. Ravi is back to help us today, which is also good to have. And another thing is that, as in every class I announced, I hope all of you are following the daily examples. They're the backbone of all these classes, because without the examples, without practice, this knowledge will not stay with us. Of course, they're all archived and recorded, so you can come back to them later, but if you can follow them along, it will be very useful for the practice. Okay, let us start with the, continue from last time. So we're doing the Tingandam Prakaranam, which is the verbal forms, right now the Bhadi Gana, the first Gana of Dhatus. And Dhatus are defined in these Ganas because the Gana Vyakaranam is different. These Gana, that's the meaning of these Ganas. Gana means groups. So Dhatus are put in a particular order in Dhatu Patha. They grouped into these 10 groups because the Gana Vyakaranam will be different. Right now we're looking at only the Bhadi Ganas, only Shap only we have seen. Today we'll see a couple of more because anyway, we'll see as we go along. Because there are some Dhatus in Bhadi Ganaha which also take exceptionally another Gana Vyakaranam. Okay, well, let's start with the Sutram, which I referred to last time at the end of last class, which is No Naha. Very, very simple, straightforward Sutram. Says when you first of all when you look at a Sutram, try to padacheda yourself, which means No Naha, means look at the vritti. Dhatva there Nasya Naha. When you look at the vritti, you understand that Nasya is Shashti Ekavachanam, so Naha is Shashti Ekavachanam of Nakaraha. So this Naha is Prathama Ekavachanam. We're not doing all the detail in the class because it will take us a lot of time, but on your own, if you can look at the vritti, and of course in the examples, we'll give you examples about that also. So this is a very, very simple sutram. It says Dhatvadir Nasyanaha. Extremely simple. All these simple rules, try to make them your own, understand them. Know where in the Ashtadhyayi you are at all times. At all times, the danger of doing this to what we are doing, what everybody else does almost today, Siddhanta Kaumudi method is, of course, Siddhanta Kaumudi is our text, but do not lose sight of the Ashtadhyayi at any time. Ashtadhyayi is the Mula Shastram. There is a very good reason why Panini has put the rules the way he has put them in the Ashtadhyayi order. Okay? So Ashtadhyayi Kramasya Astyev Prayojanam, Mahat Prayojanam. It has a very important very, very important reasons why Panini puts sutras as he puts them. So there are these two rules in 6.1 which says Dhatvadesh No Naha. Extremely simple. All this means is that in the Dhatu Patha, if you have a Dhatu which is a Murdhanya Shakaradi, or which is then if it is Murdhanya Shakaradi, it takes the Dantya Sakara Adeshaha. And right now we have to be using this one which says that if you have a Dhatu in the Dhatu Patha, which is Murdhanya Nakaradi, we take the Dantya Nakaradesha. Very, very straightforward. One more time. So basically there's no Dhatu in the language in usage, which is really going to be Murdhanya Shakaradi or the Nakaradi. if you find such a dhatu in the dhatu patha, what it means is that it really is a if it's a mudhanya shakaradi in dhatu patha, that is really a dantya sakaradi. If it's a mudhanya nakaradi in dhatu patha, then it really is a dantya nakaradi. So this is very important to know, because if you're looking for a dhatu in the dhatu patha, which you expect to be, sakaradi, and you're not finding it, then look at those dhatu in dhatu patha. We begin with a shakara. All of those are also in usage. When they come to use in the language, they're going to be sakaradi. Similarly, if you're looking for a dhatu which is nakaradi, you're not finding it, look at the ones in dhatu patha which are nakaradi. Panchamarna, no. Those are all really nakaradi when they come into usage. Now, why does Panini go through this exercise of making these nakaradi in dhatu patha, then putting nakara as substitution for that? There's a reason. Basically, these are tagged. These dhatus are tagged for us. That, for example, we're going to see today that Panini is saying is that these dhatus which are called nopadeshaha, which in the upadesha, in the dhatu patha have a nakaradi, they are the ones who will take the nakaradeshaha in usage when the proper nimittam comes for it. So one more time, the reason why Panini puts these dhatu in the dhatu patha beginning with a mudhanya shakara or a mudhanya nakara is that because he has tagged them. He has marked them in a certain way, so that those are the ones which, when the proper conditions arise, which we'll see later, they will be the ones for which nakara will change into a nakara in usage and sakara will change to a mudhanya shakaraha. So this is a device of Panini to mark these dhatu with a mudhanya in the dhatu patha. When they come into usage, they'll take the dantya adeshaha. But when certain conditions arise, they will, take the mudhanya adesha in usage. So we'll follow this with an example here. So the simple thing is that dhatva der nasyanaha, the substitution of the dantya nakaraha in the place of the adi nakaraha of a dhatu. It has to be a adi, okay? Dhatva der, the place of initial nakaraha of a dhatu in dhatu patha. Now, they have done the parigananam for us, because there are only 8 dhatus. There are only 8 dhatus in usage, which are actually nakaradi in the dhatu patha. All other dhatus which you see in use, which are nakaradi, they are actually nakaradi in dhatu patha. So barring these 8 dhatus, 8 which is this, nad, nati, nath, nadh, nanda, nak, nr, and nrit. Barring these 8, any other dhatu you see in dhatu in usage, in language, when you say nandati, it's a nakaradi dhatu in the language. It's not one among these 8. This is what is called as a no upadesha dhatu. It's a dhatu in the dhatu patha will be nakaradi, murdhanya nakaradi. So what it says is that no upadeshastu nard, nati, nath, nadh, nand, nak, nr, nrataha. So barring these 8, so means barring, negation. Other than these, other than these 8, all remaining dhatus in the language which you see in the language, which we encounter in the language, begin with a nakara, they are in the dhatu patha marked with a, not marked, they have in the dhatu patha a adi nakaraha. So that is what we can, so you don't have to memorize or go in dhatu patha and find out. Barring these 8 dhatus, any other dhatu which is seen to have a adi nakara in the language, that's a no upadesha dhatu, who means that in the upadesha, in the dhatu patha, that dhatu will have a adi nakaraha, and then by using no naha, we'll do the nakara adeshaha. Okay, so let's take an example now. The example when you say is the dhatu nam. Nam is pravatve shabde cha. Nam means to bow down, to be humble before somebody, pravatve. So to be, pravva means humility, shabde cha also. So this is the dhatu patha, nirdesha in the dhatu patha. So this dhatu you can see has a nakara at the beginning, nam. Of course the ending akara is an it by upadesha, arjananasika it. So that is an it letter. But this beginning nakara, before anything comes, see this dhatuvade nasyanaha, this no naha sutam requires no nimittam as such. You don't have to wait before doing any other operation. Before doing any other operation, immediately replace this nakaraha with the nakaraha. Even before you start anything, this dhatu nam will be transformed into nam. So any dhatu in dhatu bhata which is nakaradi, immediately when you bring it to use, replace that nakara, that adi nakara of dhatu with a nakaraha. So we get nam. And now once we get nam, then of course go to the usual steps. Again, repeat these steps which you repeated many times in the previous class. Repeat them again today. All these fundamentals for the next year or so, you're going to be following all these same steps for this tinganta prakriya. Which is bringing the lakara in whatever meaning. In this case, vartamane lat. Vartamane, then remove the it letters, which is going to be halantyam upadesh ajunanaske tasya lopaha. Always the second step. So first step is the lakara. Second step, in whatever meaning it comes, you have to know what the vivaksha of the speaker is. According to that, the lakara comes in. Remove these letters, becomes la. Then after that, you go to lasyadhikara. In the Ashtadhyayi, lasyadhikara, we start from 3-4-77. Of course, the top level sutram is tiptajji. That's the third step. Third step, in place of the la, you put the appropriate pratyaya from these 18. Which we saw last time in great detail. Put one of these pratyas over there, and after that, then we so we got tip in this case. We talk about prathapurusha ekavachanam because using these usual rules, which is the tinga trini prathama madhyama uttamaha. Then of course the tanya ekavachana. Jivachana, Bahuvachananya Ekashaha. Tani Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachanani Ekashaha. So they are in groups of 3. They are marked in sets of 3, which is the Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachanam, which is also we saw in last time. So we won't repeat these basic rules. We should go straight forward. So the 18 pratyas which are given there, they are in groups of 3, Ekvachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. And then within that you have, groups of 3, which is the Pratham Purushaha, Madhyam Purusha, Udhyam Purushaha. Within the 3 you have Ekvachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. So that is, those we have been seeing, all the time. So Tingas Trini, Prathama Madhyamottamaha, this is the typo in the prior page. And then Tanya Ekvachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachananya Kashaha. So those we will be using all the time. Then we have to see that we're going to bring Sheshe Pratamaha. So after all of these, you won't repeat this again going forward. So we get the Pratyaya tip. And tip gets Sanya Sarvadhatukam by Tingshit Sarvadhatukam. Now, because tip has Sanya Sarvadhatukam, we get Kartari Shap. The Shap cannot come unless you have a Pratyaya which has a Sanya Sarvadhatukam and which is in Kartari Arthe. So the Shap Pratyaya comes over here, and then after that, we get the form namati. So nothing special really until we get the form namati. Very straightforward. There was no guna adesh, anything here. So just basically, one more time we'll do this, is bring the lakara, always the first step. Bring the lakara in the appropriate meaning. Then the anubandha lopaha. Then lasyadhikara means tiptajji, start with tiptajji. Then finish the lasyadhikara. Don't leave the lasyadhikara. So after applying tiptajji, finish all the rules in the lasyadhikara first. Then after that, go to the Gana Vikranam as appropriate. We get, in this case, Kartari Shap. And after that, do in Angakaryam, Sandhikaram, etc. One more time. First step, Lakaraha, the appropriate meaning. Then Yatha Yogyam, so Vivaksha Anusarena, according to Vivaksha. Then Anubandha Lopaha. Then Lasyadhikara, Tiptajji, and remaining operation Lasyadhikara. Don't leave that one. Then Vikaranam, and this is Gana Vikaranam Shap. Then you can do Angakaryam, Sandhikaram. Okay? So always follow the same steps. Now what happens is that there comes the sutram. Now you can appreciate why Panini has made this device of making these dhatus no padeshaha. This sutram here says that upasargada samase pi no padeshasya. First of all, notice the number. Always look at the Ashtadhyayi. see in which section we are. Which number is this? What is the number here? The number is here 8414. If you recall, we already have looked at 841 Rashabhyam Nonas Samanapade Atkupmang Nung Vyavayepi Atkupmang Nung Vyavayepi. Those also we have looked at these three rules before. So this is a section where Panini defines a condition under which the nakara becomes a nakaraha. This section goes from 841 to 8439. The more familiar you get with the Ashtadhyayi territory, you put in a stronger position to study grammar. Ultimately, you have to know the Ashtadhyayi map. Of course, some of the sections we haven't used at all yet. That's okay. Whatever you know, try to grab them. It's like a monopoly game that you're playing with Ashtadhyayi. So this one you know from 8 for the rest of your life now, from 841 to 8439 section of the Nakara Adeshaha, 841 to 8439. So here there is Sutram 8414, which Panini says, so the moment you see a number like 8414, you know you're in this section where the Natta Vidhanam, Upasargada Samasepi Nopadeshasya. Upasargada Samasepi Nopadeshasya. Any new sutram repeated 5, 10, 50, 20, 100 times, because those are the ones which give you the most bang for the buck. So let's see what that vritti says. Upasarga sthan nimittat parasya nopadeshasya dhator nasya naha. If there is a nimittam in the upasargaha, and following that you have a dhatu which is nopadeshaha, which is this dhatu which we talked about, which has a nakaradi in the dhatu patha, then it takes the nakara takes the nakara adesha, which is what I mentioned to you before. When the nimittam, when the proper condition arises, this nakara goes back to a nakara. That's the reason why Panini made it as no padesha in the dhatu patha. So then what happens here is that, of course, you have to remember one thing in mind. You have to still honor these conditions which we saw in 841, 842. Nimittam is rashabhyam. So the reason why do we need 8414? This is not samanapade. So if it's not samanapade, because when we have this one, when we say pranamati, this is a pruthak padam. This is a separate padam. So the condition of samanapade was not satisfied here. That is why Panini puts a special rule 8414. It says that specifically say the nimittam is upasarga. We have the repa in the upasarga. And if we say the nakara of a inopadesha dhatu is following that one, then it can take natvam. Now what is intervening here? Intervening is only the akara. Between the repa and the nakara of nam, only the akara intervenes. So that we have to check. Those conditions which we have to check that akara will fall under this at, ku, pu, ang, num, yavayapi. Akara is an at. We still have to check 842. 842 cannot be forgotten. Even though we have 8414, 8414 only is telling us that even though it's not samanapade, we can go ahead and do natvam, but it's no padesha dhatu, with using a nimittam in the upasarga. That's what this is saying. But we still have to honor 842. Atkupu ang num yavayapi. So that don't forget 842. In this case, what we have is we have the akara is the only vyavadhanam. That's an at. So we can go ahead and apply 8414 pranamati. So one more time review is that this dhatu, nothing very special here is that this dhatu which is in the dhatu patha nam, dhatu patha it is nam, it is namo I should say, and then because of the no naha, the adi nakara became nakara immediately. And then what happened when the nimittam came in the upasarga, it went back to nakara by pranamati. Okay, so that simple. Nothing. So that was only. So this was only to make a nattam. This entire thing which you just saw was only in order to understand nattam in pranamati. That's all. Otherwise, the lat lakara prakriya was simple. Okay. Now we take this another next dhatu, which is this one we're going to take here. This dhatu is going to be tunadi samruddhau. Tunadi samruddha. Nanda means to rejoice, to be happy, to rejoice. So nandati. Now let's look at this another rule. Look at the number again, 135. This section is very familiar to us, 135. What this section is telling is the it letters, because we already have seen 132, Upadesha, Jananasika. It's always try to get your anchors in the Ashtadhyayi. Do you know anything in that territory? See, this is like, when you go to a different country, you have to go get a passport and a visa, and you have to know what the government is over there. Same thing here. They are the adhikaras. There's an adhikari in that region. So he controls that region. There might be more than 2 of them. There might be hierarchy of them. So you have to know what the government is in that region that you're entering into. What passport do you need to go there? So here, and you can see, have you been to some places in that region before? So here we're trying to get Sutram 135. Adar ni to davaha. Adar ni to davaha. Now we already know Upadesh Arjuna Nasikit. We know Halantyam. We also have used this so many times. Navibhaktau tusmaha. Used many times. So now it's not surprising that you know the it anurutti is coming down. So this is going to, this is talk about something is being made in it over here. So even before looking at the sutram, you should know from what from the context. If we're going to talking about a rule now, which is going to define a it sanya. So we're going to move on to the next dhatu now. The dhatu we're going to look at right now is dhatu tu nadi samruddhau. Samruddhau. So the ending ikara is going to be in it by upadesh arjuna nasika it, and this adi tu is now going to be made in it by the sutram adir ni to davaha. Adir ni to davaha. Upadeshe dhatoho adyaha ete itasyuhu. In the dhatu patha, if you have this samudaya, means this collection of letters ni, which is the chavarga panchama cha cha ja ja nya ni, that ni, or a tu. Tu means a takara ukaraha. These are not individually it. Be careful. These are not individually it. So this in this two, this ukara is not an anunasika, but the samudaya tu, the samudaya ni, and the samudaya do, they get the samudaya means two, that ta and u together get the it sanya, and they also go away together. So one more time is upadeshe in the dhatu patha. Dhatoho adyaha. The beginning of a dhatu these should be. Which are these two? The cha varga pancham with the ikaraha. So cha cha ja ja nya ni. The ni. So nya plus e. Ni. Or the ta u, which is two, and da u, which is do. These three, not individually, but ni, to, do, they get the it sanya. So the letters ni, to, or do, beginning at the beginning of a dhatu in dhatu patha, get the it sanya. So very, very straightforward sutram, nothing difficult at all, because it's very straightforward. In the dhatu patha, if you have one of these three, at the beginning of the dhatu, they get the it sanya, as simple as that. And of course, by tasya lopaha. Now with tasya lopaha, they take lopaha. Now this is a subtle point, is why your point says tasya lopaha. Because by saying tasya lopaha, alone tasya doesn't come in here. There's no alone tasya, because we've been using tasya lopa all the time. Up to now, we didn't appreciate the significance of tasya. That tasya means the entire it takes lopaha, not alone tasya. So it doesn't mean that when this two is an it right now, the entire two takes lopaha, not just the ukar alone tasya. That tasya in tasya lopaha gives us the information that entire it will take lopaha. So tasya lopaha. So let's look at dhatu tu nadi samruddhau, and then here we have the two at the beginning is an it by the sutram adar ni to davaha, and then of course this pratipadikam is ni to do. This like guravaha. This is prathama bahuvachanam of ni, to, and do. So one of these three at the beginning of dhatu gets the it sanya. So when you take tu nadi from the dhatu patha, remove the it letters by making this two as an it by adar ni to davaha. Ikar as an it, of course, by upadesh arjuna nasika it, tasya lopaha. So what we have is that we get nad. Now what happens is that why does Panini have this ikara as an it over here? This two also has a prayojanam which doesn't concern the tingam prakaranam. Every it has a prayojanam. Prayojanam vina it sanyana bhavati. There's no point putting a marker if it has no prayojanam. Right now, the two as an it does not affect us because we're not doing any karyam, which is going to be important for us. But later on, we will see some operations, but they don't affect these verbal forms which you're looking at right now. In fact, just for your information, this is not today's topic, but if you want to just look at the Ashtadhyayi thing in 3.3, you'll find a rule which uses the two as an it. So 3.389 Ashtadhyayi, which is not today's topic. But you'll see why Panini has marked these dhatu with two as an it, because he has some operations here, which is, this pratyaya athush. So veputushcha sharire me. In fact, in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, this in first chapter, veputushcha sharire me roma shashcha jayate. So vepathu. So that vepathu form, because that dhatu has two as an it. Again, this is not, don't worry about it right now, but you may be wondering why does Panini have this two as an it, because that's going to be useful in forming forms like these, vepathu, etc., which you're not going to be looking at today. So the two, yes.
I think the dhatu is two-way company.
Thank you. Two-way company. So as Ravi is saying, two-way company, that dhatu does have the two as an it, and then by this sutram 3.3, which we just saw, 3.3.89, get the athuch patpattayaha, so vepathu. So vepathu is this form. But that is why the two is an it, but that's not our today's lesson. But the e as an it has a significance for us today, and that is idito nun dhatoho. Very simple sutram, important sutram, idito nun dhatoho. What it says, if dhatu is idit, if any dhatu has the rasva ikar as an it, one more small note that ikar should be at the end. So any dhatu which at the end, but thank you, Ravi. Ravi also mentioned this dhatu called du pachash pake. So the dhatu, in that dhatu, the du is an it. So yes, you do have dhatus like du pachash in the dhatu part, where du is an it also. So right now we're looking at two as an it in two nadi. And if you have a dhatu which is idit, the dhatu which has the rasva ikar as an it at the end, then that dhatu takes the num agamaha. Idito num dhatoho. It's also nitya karyam. You don't have to wait to bring in any lakara, any prakriya. This all this says that if dhatu is an idit in dhatu pata, then it's going to take a num agamaha. Now, obvious question comes is that, just like we questioned last time, why has Panini put the dhatu as nakara in dhatu pata, made the adesha na? What's the point of that? Similarly, what's the point here of making a dhatu idit, bringing the num agamaha based on the that rasva ikar? Why not directly put the nakara in dhatu pata? Because later on we will see, not today, we will see some rules which will distinguish in the nakara, whether it's coming through e as an it, or whether the ikara, whether the nakara in dhatu pata directly. So one more time, what Panini is doing is he's putting a ikara as an it for a dhatu in order to get the num agamaha by idito num dhatoho. And that is a nitya karyam. Nothing can stop that. Then the question comes is, if you're going to get the num all the time for a dhatu which is idit, then why not put directly the num in the dhatu pata itself? Why bother to put an e as an it, and based on the e as an it, bring a num agamaha? Because when that num comes through the route of e as an it, that will be tagged. So these nakaras which come through the num agamaha, because of having idit and it, will not take certain operations. So that is, we have just an example today is 6.4.24, which is not today's topic, but I just want to, in case you're wondering in your mind, you should ask these questions. The obvious question is that Panini is putting the ikar as an it in the dhatu pata, and based on that, he's bringing a num agama for a dhatu all the time. Then why not just directly put the nakara in the dhatu itself? Because these are now tagged, these are now marked. So these are special dhatus where the nakara came through the ikara as an it. Then Panini will say somewhere else that if this nakara has come through the ikara as an it, then do something, or don't do something. So rather than putting a nakara in the dhatu directly itself, by putting the ikara as an it in dhatu pata, bringing a num agamaha, now Panini has marked them. He has now classified them. So these dhatus will behave differently than, in certain circumstances, than a dhatu which directly has a nakara in dhatu pata. So this is not a trivial operation. I mean, no operation is trivial. Obviously, there's no operation which is trivial here. So for example, 6.4.24, which we see later on, not today, aniditam. So as long as this dhatu doesn't have ikar as an it, then the nakara takes lopa under some conditions. So this is an example. An example of Panini now says that some nakara in some condition will take a lopa, as long as that nakara did not come through the ikar as an it in dhatu pata. So basically, what Panini is doing is that he is classifying his dhatus. He is marking them. These dhatus have ikar as it in dhatu pata, and through that the num has come. So that nakara will be marked. It will behave differently in certain circumstances from a nakara and dhatu part which is already there, not through is and it. Okay. So right now it looks like it is not serving any purpose for us, because we meaning that we got the ikar as an it, we got the num agamaha. Num agama is nityam. It looked like we could have just abandoned this whole thing and just made the dhatu nand in dhatu pata itself. Dhatu would have been nand, but that is not correct thinking, because even though right now it doesn't make a difference for us, but nakara came through an idit or came directly to dhatu pata, it will make a difference in other circumstances. So one more time, any dhatu which has a ikara, rastu ikara as an it at the end of the dhatu takes a num agamaha. Of course, you know by now the midachon tyatparaha. The num will attach after the last vowel in the term, so it goes between the na and the da. So it becomes na, num, da, then anubandha lopaha, upadesha nasika it, and halantyam, and we get the nand. Now once you get nand, there's nothing special. You add lakara as usual, make the tippadesha, shap, nandati, etc. By the way, thanks to Radha for doing a lot of work on the notes document. Here we have given all the forms and tables over here. So for example, here we had to take the dhatu nand, dhatu tunadi, and then we remove tunadi samruddhav. It's number 17, dhatu pata 1.70. So you also have this notes document which is given to give you many more forms. So here, we did the iritonum dhatoho, got the num agamaha, and then, got the nand. So this is nitya karyam. Before you do anything else, you get the nand. Of course, here also want you to remember that you should be doing the nashcha padantasya jali anuswarasya parasavarna. Don't forget those simple operations now. Even though it will not make a difference, the final form will be the same. But when you get to tripadi karyam, you should be doing, because when you say nand, this is a nakara, which is not padanta, it's followed by jal. Nashcha padantasya jali num, anuswara, nashcha padantasya anuswara, anuswarasya parasavarna. Make it nand. And then once you do that, then nand, add lat, go through all the usual steps, make it tip, get the shap, becomes nandati. Once you get nandati form, then you are done, because after that, instead of just like for dhatu bhu, you got bhavati, you got nandati over here. So instead of the angam being bhava, angam becomes nanda. So shesham samanam. So everything else is same as before, yatha purvam. So just like in dhatu, you get bhu, you get bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, you get nandati, nandataha, nandanti. Once the angam nanda is formed with the shap, then the remaining you just basically, instead of bhava, put nanda. All is formed, lot lakara, nandatu, nandatam, nandantu, and your nandatat, of course, of optional form. So all these forms, lung, vidhiling, anandat, nandet, will all be the same. Only thing special was the numagama coming through the route of having an ikara as an it at the end of the dhatu in dhatu pata. Once after that, everything else is simple, straightforward. Okay. Again, thanks to Radha for making this document, so we can also use that. Now the next thing we take in dhatu called gupu. It is dhatu is gupu rakshane. Gupu rakshane. Now always ask the question, why are we taking this dhatu separately, specially? What's special about this dhatu? Why do we need to put the dhatu like that? Then here we understand why it's special, because the sutram says gupu dhupa vichi pani panibhya ayaha. So 31, again notice the number 3128. 3128. Now notice in the Ashtadhyayi we have into many examples that we have this dhato adhikara. It starts from 3122. Dhato reka chohalade kriya samabhihare yang. And then we also have this dhatu adhikara starting from 31. Never forget these two. 3191 dhatoho. Now why do we have two dhatoho? Because these three sets of rules, which is tatropadam saptami stham, krudating, and vasurupostriyam, these three only apply for this second dhatoho adhikara starting from here. Dhatoho. These three rules, tatropadam saptami stham, krudating, which you already have seen this one, and vasurupostriyam, these three sets of rules, sutratrayam, they only apply in dvitiya dhatu adhikare. So when right now we're looking at the sutram back here, which is in the first dhatu adhikaraha. which is the gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani, panibhya, ayah. Any new sutram, please repeat 5, 10, 50, 20, 100 times. It's the most efficient use of your time learning Vyakaranam. Slowly, 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 the meaning will come to you slowly. So, gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani, panibhya, ayaha. Gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani, panibhya, ayaha. Gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani, panibhya, ayaha. One letter, take slowly. Gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani, panibhya, ayaha. So, what is, then look at the number. So, we are in the dhatu adhikaraha. So, it's the aya pratyaya. We'll either get a sanya of sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam, because any pratyaya, yes, thank you, Shutam me gopaya, very like, Shutam me gopaya is a Vedic statement. Please protect what I have heard. Means what I have in the old days, it was all on listening. There's no reading books as such. So Shutam me gopaya is a Vedic prarthana, which is requesting, please protect what I have heard. Please protect what I have learned. Okay, so gopaya is what we're going to see that today. So these dhatus, this which is gupu, dhupa, vichi, pani and pani, they take the aya pratyaya. Now, so this aya will get the sanya of sarvadhatukam or ardhatukam. It will get sanya of, because ting shit sarvadhatukam, ardhadhatukam sheshaha. These sanyas only come if a pratyaya is prescribed in the dhatoho adhikara. Otherwise, no. One more time, is that the sanya of sarvadhatukam or ardhatukam is given to a pratyaya if and only if that pratyaya is prescribed in the dhatoho adhikara. We have one sutram for dhatoho back here, 317, a single sutram dhatoho, and after that from 3122 starts with dhatoho, and again from 3191 starts with dhatoho. Now, the sanya of kruda thing only comes in second dhatoho adhikara. So this pratyaya aya will get the sanya of ardhadhatukam by ardhadhatukam shesha. It will not get a krut sanya, because we get krut sanya, it better not get krut sanya. If it does, then you have to use krut tadita samasascha, because pratipadikam. If a pratyaya gets a krut sanya, and when you add that to the prakriti, that samudaya will get the pratipadika sanya because of krut tadita samasascha. So aya will not take the sanya of krut. It will get the sanya of ardhatukam because of ardhatukam sheshaha. So one more time, 3128 is giving this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dhatus, which is the pratyaya aya. Now, in what meaning is aya pratyaya being used? So, in what meaning is the pratyaya aya being used? Now, this question is that if there is no artha nirdeshaha, means it doesn't say in what meaning it is being used, it's going to be swarthe. So swarthe, this pratyaya will come swarthe. So which is without any artha parivartanam, with no meaning, without any extra meaning, this will become the aya pratyaya. So these 5 dhatus, right, will take the pratyaya aya without changing any meaning. I think there's a statement here which says that anirdishtarthaha pratyayaha swarthe bhavanti. This simply means that when pratyaya is prescribed without telling what change meaning is coming, normally a pratyaya will change something for the prakriti. When it is not doing that, pratyaya is called swarthe, in its own meaning, without any change in the meaning. This aya pratyaya comes of these 5 dhatus, artha parivartanam vina, without any change in meaning. This is the pratyaya aya. Aya pratyaya comes. So now let's go back to our document here. Is ebhyaha, so dhatubhyaha, aya pratyaya syat swarthe. The pratyaya is aya, ends in akara. So, and then this one is the roots gup, dhupa. So gupu rakshane, dhupa santape, means to be feel hot, santape, to heat. Then vicha gatau, pana vyavahare stutau cha, pana vyavahare stutau cha, aya pratyaya, the sense is unaffected. The sense is unaffected. So swarthe. So let's look at the example. Let's take the dhatu gup. So pratyaya, immediately the pratyaya aya comes, is nitya karyam. At least for us. There may be some other rule which are in other circumstances may not bring the pratyaya, but right now for us it's nitya karyam. Nothing in the sutram says it is vaikalpikam. So this gupu dhupa vichi pani panibhya ayah nityaka, unless sutram says vaikalpikam, unless sutram says anyatarasyam or something like that, it is nityakaram. Any sutram ashtadhyayi as a default, of course, is nityam. Is nityam. So this is a nityakaryam. So we get the pratyaya aya. So get the gupa aya. Now what happens is that so ardhadhatukam sheshaha. We have already seen the sutram ting shit sarvadhatukam. We already seen that sutram. Asmakam patitam sutram. Asmabhi patitam sutram. Ting shit sarvadhatukam. Simply says that if a pratyaya is prescribed in the dhatoha adhikaraha, in that case, if it belongs to ting pratyahara, or if it has the talavya shakara, then it gets sanya sarvadhatukam. Then immediately next anantaram sutram is ardhadhatukam sheshaha. All the any remaining pratyaha, any other pratyaha, which is again the same to condition, it has to be in the dhato adhikaraha, which is neither a ting nor a shit, which is neither belongs to ting pratyahara, nor does it have the talavya shakara as an hit. In that case, sanyaf, it gets sanyaf ardhadhatukam. So one more time, a pratyaha which is prescribed in the dhatoho with using dhatoho. Now one more time, that dhatoho comes in the ashtadhyayi starting from 317 is one single sutram which starts which says dhatoho. That's ekam sutram, only one sutram dhatoho, 317, and then after 3122 starts dhatoho, and then again continues from 3191 starts a new dhatoho. So basically we have 317 as one rule. From 3122 onwards to the end of third chapter, all these pratyayas, they go in two baskets. So immediately, if you see a pratyaya which is prescribed in this dhatoha adhikaraha, immediately put in one of these two categories. Either sarvadhatukam, ting shit sarvadhatukam, athava ardhadhatukam sheshaha. So remember, there's no third category here. There's no third category. So if it's prescribed in dhato adhikaraha, then it has to go only two ways. Either ting shit sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam sheshaha. Very, very simple fundamental concept. Very simple fundamental concept is that ardhadhatukam sheshaha is ting shit bhyo anyaha. Dhato riti vihitaha. Pratyaha etat sanyasya means it gets the ardhadhatuka sanyasyat. It has sanya of ardhadhatukam. In English, an affix which does not belong to ting pratyahara, those 18 pratyahas, chipta, ji, etc., which does not belong to one of those, and which does not have the talavya shakara in it, gets the sanya of ardhadhatukam. So why do we need that? Because we want to apply sutram puganta lagupatasya cha. In order to do the lagupada gunaha, which we want to make it gopa. This puganta lagupatasya cha, as you saw in the daily examples, gets the anuvritti of sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho. So unless the pratyaya has a sanya of sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam, you cannot use puganta lagupatasya cha. So we have to first establish that the pratyaya aya had a sanya of either sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam. In this case, ardhadhatukam. Then we can use puganta lagupatasya cha. This, of course, rasam lagu. There's no sanyoga following. So we can use this sutram, and we can get the because this is in the ekasanya. We saw the sutra last time very quickly in 1.4. We saw the lagu sanya and the guru sanya. Here it is rasam lagu sanyoge guru dirganch. This is rasva ukara. There's no sanyoga following. So this ukara of gup is a lagu. So we get the guna adesha because of the ardhadhatukam sheshaha, and then puganda lagupatasya become gopaya. Once you get gopaya, the problem here now is that dhatu gupu was in dhatu patha, because bhuvadeha. So this because it's bhuvadeha dhatavaha. We had the dhatu sanya. So gupu has a dhatu sanya. Gup has dhatu sanya, but not the gopaya. Unless gopaya can somehow get the dhatu sanya, we cannot use pratyaya lat or any other pratyaya in the dhatu adhikara. So one more time, this the dhatu gupu is in dhatu patha. Anubandha lope gup. That gup got dhatu sanya by bhuvadaya dhatavaha. But this gopaya does not have dhatu sanya as yet. We need to get that. Unless we get that, we cannot bring any pratyaya which is prescribed in the dhatoh adhikara. And we want to bring in the lat pratyaya by vartamane lat. Vartamane lat is in 32123. Dhatoh. It requires dhatu sanya. Go to next sutram, sanajyanta dhatavaha. Now, all these rules are very, very important rules, but don't worry. Today you heard it for the first time. For the rest of your life, you can practice these. So all these rules which you're looking at today, which is, ardhatakam sheshaha, iditunum dhatoho, sanajyanta dhatavaha, they're going to be coming 1,000 times, literally 1,000 times. So don't worry. Even though it's looking new for you today, you have the rest of your life to practice these. They will not change. They will not change. So as long as you live, you're going to have the same thing. Ardhatakam sheshaha, iditunum dhatoho, pugantalukuvasya cha, sanajyanta dhatavaha, over and over and over. And I've heard them like 5,000 times already. So it's going to become a part of you. It will become a part of you. So don't think, no, it's a lot coming to you today. But keep it for now and practice through the example. Sanajyanta dhatavaha. What does this say? Sanadayaha kamer ningantaha pratyaha ante yesham te dhatu sanyakaha. Because we have this form gopaya. We need to get a dhatu sanya for this in order to bring the lat pratyaya or any other pratyaya in the dhatu adhikaraha. So what this sutra is saying, sanadyantaha. Again, go to the Ashtadhyayi order. See 3132. If you know the Ashtadhyayi order, you can quickly refer to what Panini is talking about. Is that Panini is talking about is pratyaya starting from 315 gup tijkidja san. This pratyaya san which is coming here. San. Up to this pratyaya which is the kamer ning. Kamer ning. So all is pratyaya from san up to ning. Those will take any term ending in one of these pratyayas, starting with 315 sun up to 3130 ning, that samudaya will get the dhatu sanya, which is called derived dhatus, like all causative verbs, all frequentatives, all desideratives, which we see much later in maybe a year from now. We'll see these. So these are what is called derived dhatu, sadhita dhatavaha, sadhita dhatavaha. Sadhita means derived. So sadhita dhatavaha, all these, derived dhatus, they get the dhatus. So you take a dhatu from the dhatu pataha, add a pratyaya, which will in some way change the meaning maybe. In this case, for our case, we didn't change the meaning. Doesn't matter, the meaning is changed, or whatever meaning it comes into. If you add a pratyaya starting from sun of 315 up to kamer ning, then that samudaya means the dhatu from the dhatu partha plus one of these pratyayas, that entire group, that entire term gets the sanya of dhatu again. So that becomes a new dhatu now, which is a derived dhatu, which we took a dhatu from dhatu partha, add a pratyaya either starting from one of these pratyayas from this sun pratyaya of 315 up to anyone from this kamer ning pratyaya, kamer ning, and then we get a new dhatu, in this case gopaya. So here we see that a term, so sanadayaha, san adayaha, starting from sun of 315, kamer ning antaha up to the pratyaya ning. So ning pratyaya is coming over here in 3130. So basically from 315 to 3130, from 315 to 3130. Any pratyaya from that section, if you add to a dhatu, that entire collection, samudaya, gets a dhatu sanya again. So gets a dhatu sanya. So it's like a dhatu inside a dhatu. So we took a dhatu from dhatu partha, add a pratyaya, and we get a new dhatu, derived dhatu from it. So it's gopaya gets dhatu sanya. Gopaya gets dhatu sanya. Now we are given a list of these. So which is san, kyach, kamyach, kyang, kyash, quip. Quip is only the quip which is prescribed in this section under 3110. Then nich, yang, yak, aya, iyang, and ning. I think there are 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these 12 pratyayas are between 315 and 3130. Panini prescribed these 12 pratyayas. Right now we only use the pratyaya aya. When one of these is added to a dhatu, that the entire collection gets a dhatu sanya. So now what we can do? Now we can bring the pratyaya, which is the vartamane lat, which is dhatu adhikaraha. So gopaya plus lat. And then there's nothing special in the remaining part of it. Gopaya plus lat. We get the anubandha lopaha, all the usual steps in the pratyaya tip. Then because of the tip gets sanya of sarvadhatukam, but ting, shit, sarvadhatukam. Remember, only the aya has sanya of ardhadhatukam. The tip, as usual, will be ting, shit, sarvadhatukam. Only aya has sanya of ardhadhatukam. But tip will be ting, shit, sarvadhatukam. Because we need that, because kartari shap requires sarvadhatuke kartari. So we the pratyaya shap. Only last thing is that we have gopaya, anubandha lopa, gopaya ati. Then we do the atogune. Between this akara at the end of gopaya and the akara of shapura parayoho ekadeshaha. It's a pararupam ekadeshaha, pararupam, which of course is known to you already, atogune. So you know why we learn all these sandhi rules first. So we need them everywhere, all the time. This adhikara pura parayoho is already very well known to you. Very well known to you by now, which pura parayoho ekadeshaha, in that stuff from 6184. And then we have to go to 6197. We had gopaya ati. Gopaya the akara of shap. Ti. Gopaya ati. So they use atogune because the ending akara of gopaya is not padanta akara. It's apadanta akara. Followed by akara of shap pura parayoho ekadesha. Pararupam ekadesha becomes gopayati. Once you form gopayati, so shesham sukaram. Shesham sukaram. The rest of it is easy now. Because once you get the form angam gopaya, just as we did before, we go to here and you instead of bhavati, you have gopayati. It's a shabbantam angam ending in shap. So just like we get the forms bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, we get gopayati, gopayataha, gopayanti, etc. Only thing here is that between the gopaya and the akara of shap, we have to do atogune. But otherwise, after doing atogune, we're going to have the angam gopaya. Once gopaya is formed, so it says it is shesham spashtam. So rest of it will be gopaya tu, gopaya tat, in lot lakara, gopaya tam. So once you get the angam gopaya, wherever there's bhava, put gopaya, it's going to get all the forms. Now we're going to take the next dhatu we're going to take is the dhatu kram. So it is kramu padavikshepe. Padavikshepe. Now again, always ask the question, why are we taking this dhatu specially? What is special about this dhatu? Can we not use all the rules that we already know? Yes, we can use them. But there must be something special here. That is Siddhanta Kaumudi is taking this dhatu separately. Vishesha karyam bhavedeva. So it's not pruthak duriyate. It's taken up separately because it is this visheshana. It has some vaishishyam. So unless it has, we cannot. So we cannot use it because if there's nothing. It's sarvam samanyam. We don't need to mention this dhatu kram. So it has some vishesha. So let's take what is the vishesha over here? Is the va bhrasha bhlashak bhramu kramu klamu trasi triti lashaha. Now look at the number again. It's 3170. So the vaishishtyam is what? I made it. So vaishishtyam, by the way, not vaishishtyam. Vaishishtyam. So what is the visheshatvam? What is that vaishishyam? Which vaishishyam is that it has this optionally taking shan. So vaishishyam because visheshaha. So vaishishyam, I think it's correct. Vaishishyam. Because vaishishyam is speciality. Speciality is vaishishyam. So unless it has some vaishishyam, we should not be taking this. Let me just check this form over here. Should not be taking this example at all. We don't need to take this example unless it has something special for us, right? So the speciality of this dhatu is that this one is going to take the shan pratyaya optionally, pratyaya shan. Now we pratyaya shan comes in divadiganaha, divadibhyashan. But this dhatu kramu also takes this pratyaya optionally. So it takes sham optionally. So there are these set of dhatus. This set of dhatus which takes the pratyaya shan optionally. So now what happens is that in one case we get the pratyaya shan, in one case we take the pratyaya shap. So look at this ashtadhyayi order again. Now we're looking at it right now 3170. We already know the kartari shap sutram, kartari shap. So we get the pratyaya kartari shap by the next sutram is divadibhyashan. This divadi gana is the fourth gana of dhatus. and then we get the va, bhrasha, bhlasha, bhramu, kramu, klamu, trasi, truti, lashaha. So 1 bhrasha dhatu, bhlash is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 8 dhatus take the pratyaya shan optionally. Means pakshe shap. Pakshe shap means when they don't take the pratyaya shan, then the pratyaya shap will be taken. So the Vaishishtyam here, the Vaishishtyam is a speciality. Vaishishtyam, I'm sorry, I think I said the wrong thing before. So the Vaishishtyam is that they take the speciality is that these dhatus take the Vaishishtyam is that they take the shan optionally. Look at the vritti of this sutram. It says that is ebhya shan va kartrarthe sarvadhatuke pare. Means in the same condition which shap comes, which is kartari shap sarvadhatuke. So kartrarthe sarvadhatuke pare, we get the pratyaya shap normally as a default. But these 8 dhatus, which is these mentioned over here, which is tubhrashu deeptau, then bhlash deeptau, then brahmu chalane, as well as brahmu anavasthane. These are 2 of them, brahmu 2 of them, and then kramu. Padavikshepa means to step. Kram is to step. Padavik means to put your foot down. Padavikshepe, to step. Then klamu glano, to be tired, fatigued. Trasa, to be troubled. Trasi udvege. Then trita chedane, to cut or to make a hole. And lasha kantau. When these are for pratyaya, which is sarvadhatu pratyaya kartari arthe, instead of taking the default shap, they will take the pratyaya shan optionally. That is the Vaishishtyam, which is a speciality, Vaishishtyam. So now let's take the dhatu kram and see what we get. So when we add kram plus always the steps are the same. Procedure is the same. No, this is basic to bring the lakara in here. Anubandha lopaha, tip tasji, pratyaya tip comes here. And now we do have tip, which gets the sanya, of course, as usual by sarvadhatukam, by ting shit sarvadhatukam. Now normally kartari shap. But we get the shan optionally. Pratyaya shan comes in this. We get karam shan plus tip. So one more time, 3170 is saying that ebhya dhatubhya shan va kartrarthe sarvadhatuke pare. That is the Vaishishtyam. So that is the speciality of the 8 dhatus. They take the pratyaya shan optionally. So we get karam shan plus tip. So now the shan also has the talave shakaras and it that also gets sanya of sarvadhatukam by thinking she's sarvadhatukam. So we get now kram anubandha lopa lashak patadhite kram yati. So one more time, dhatu kram, one of these 8 dhatu, which is the pratyaya shan optionally. Right now we're doing the form when the shan comes. There'll be an optional form when the pratyaya shap comes. But now comes another special rule. It says kramas parasmai padeshu. Always in the domain of each rule. How big is the domain of each rule? The smaller the domain, it's going to be more and more difficult to remember the rule. More and more, it gets harder and harder to remember the rule. So if a rule like you say pratyaya sutram like akasami dirgha or ikuanachi, ad gunaha. I mean these are common which apply in so many places, a million places. You can remember very fast. But sutram like this one now, va bhrasha bhlasha brahmu kramu klamu trasi truti lasha. So this applies only for 8 dhatus only it applies. So it's a little bit hard to remember that. Look at the next one now. Kramas parasmai padeshu, only for a single dhatu kram. So we went down from applying to 8 dhatus, some rule. So it's a new rule now for only the dhatu kram. This is a special rule for dhatu, only for the kram. So now you remember that the dhatu kram is something special, parasmai padeshu. Look at the number, 7376. Now we jumped from 3170 to which was the dhatu adhikara. Now we came to the angasya adhikara now. So we have finished because the basic Ashtadhyayi structure is that in chapter 3, 4, and 5, Panini puts in the prakriti pratyaha, puts in what meaning, which pratyaha will affect the prakriti. So he puts that combination in place in chapter 3, 4, 5. Right now in chapter 3, we are looking at dhatu adhikara. We also looked at, of course, the just in chapter 4, 1, 2. When Subandha Prakriya, when we did, we looked at 4, 1, 2. After that, Prakriti and Pratyaya is in place, then you have to go to the Angasya Adhikara and the Sandhikaram. Okay? So what we did was we brought in 3170, we got the Pratyaya Shan optionally, Of course, first we got the tip pratyaya with 3, 4, 78. Then we got shan, because unless we get tip, we cannot get shan. But shan can only come kartrathe sarvadhatuke, kartrathe sarvadhatuke pare. So without tip, shan cannot come. Neither can shap come. So we got tip. So we are chapter 3. We are in chapter 3. Then we got the pratyaya shan in chapter 3. Now we're jumping to 7.3, which is the angasyadhikaraha. What is it doing for us? Kramo dirgha parasmi padeshyati, which is kramo dirgha parasmi padeshyati. We have pratyaya, which is, so right now we have kram shan tip. Kram shan tip. Sutram is saying always check the vritti of every sutram before you apply it. Very, very, very good habit. Will prevent you from making lot of errors. Lot of errors. Always check the vritti before applying that sutram. It says kramo dirgha. Only the dhatu kram. Dirgha means only for an ach. The kram has only one ach, which is akaraha. The dirgha rasa sanya only comes for ach. So kram, the akara of kram will take a dirgha adesha when shiti, the pratyaya which has a talne vishya, the nit follows. We do have that shan. But that shit pratyaya should be itself followed by prasipada pratyaha. So that shit pratyaya, in this case shan, should be followed by pratyaya which is sanya prasipadam, which is tip. Tip. Because laf prasipadam tangana atmane padam, the tip gets the sanya prasipadam. So one more time, the dhatu kram will take dirgha. Dirgha means only for an ach. Ach means there's only one ach in dhatu kram. The akara of kram will take dirgha adesha. When will it do that? It will take that when shiti padata. When the shit pratyaya follows the pratyaya which is talevesha, the nit, in this case shan. There's one more condition, but that shit pratyaya should itself be followed by a pratyaya which is sanya prasapadam. In this case tip. So this is a shit pratyaya. Is talavesha is a nit, followed by tip, which is sanya of parasepadam by laf parasepadam. So when that condition is satisfied, it becomes kram. Becomes kramyati. So one more time, dhatu kram. What is the vaishishtyam of this was that it took the shan optionally, and one of the 8 dhatus below kartari shap. Below kartari shap, we have special sutram va bhrasha bhlashak brahmu kramu trasi trati lasha. So pakshe shan, va shan, and then pakshe shap, I should say, remaining. And then we went to a special rule, which is especially for dhatu kram, only when the pratyaya falling is talavesha as a nit, and that itself is followed by pratyaya which is sanya of rasepadam. In that case, the akar of kram, the ach of kram, which is the akar of kram, takes dirgha adesha, becomes kram, becomes kramyati. And once you make the form kramyati, then just like when you say bhavati, etc., we got kramya. So then we can make kramyati, kramyataha, kramyanti, kramyasi, and so on and so forth. All the lakar becomes only young. That's why you know why we are kind of skipping the Siddhanta Kaumudi order, because we're taking only 4 lakars right now. The lat, lot, lung, vidiling. Lat, lot, lung, vidiling. Because once you get the angam, we can proceed very happily, and we can get the other forms quite easily. So when you got karamyati, we can now make all the forms in lat, lot, lung, vidiling. Okay, when you get karamya, we got akarantam angam, we got. After that we are done. Now when the shap pratyaya, when shan is not done, we get the pratyaya shap. The pratyaya shap, because remember the sutram was va. So it is vaikalpikam karyam. So pakshe shap. In the case when shan is not used, shap will be used. In that case also, when shap is used, what we have is that the same thing. We'll have kramas prasnapadeshu, because when we have shap, it's kram shap ti. The shap also, of course, is talavesha as an it, and that is also followed by ti, which is sanya prasnapadam. So same rule will apply. The same rule, kramas prasnapadeshu will apply. There also, dirgha adesha become kramati. So kramati. So we'll have 2 forms, kramyati, kramati, and so on everywhere. So we'll get, so even when the pratyaya shap comes in the other case, that will also trigger this dirgha adesha with karma prasnapadeshu, because just like shan, the shap also has the talavesha as an it, and we're talking prasnapadam right now. So we have that shap or shan, which is followed by pratyaya, which is prasnapadam, become karama. So karamyati, and kramati, kramyati, kramati. So given here, which is here we get the kramyati, kramyataha. Kramyant is shan pakshe. When the pratyaya shan is used, when we get shap, it becomes kramati, kramataha, kramanti, etc. So the special sutram here, there are two special rules. One which applies to a set of 8 dhatus, which is in 3170, which says that these 8 dhatus like bhramyati also we get, etc. Klamyati. So they take the shan pratyaya optionally, and then we had a specific rule which was only for the dhatu kram. He says that the kram will take the dirgha adesha. Dirgha means only the ach of kram, the akara of kram will take dirgha adesha, followed by shit pratyaya, which itself is followed by pratyaya sanya of parasmapadam. So after that, we can get the form like kramyati, kramati, etc., etc., etc. So the next sutram we're going to look at is this dhatu, which is this very wonderful long sutram. Very, very useful sutram. Very, very straightforward and very useful. Atyupakarakam sutram. Atyupakarakam. Very useful. Look at this nice musical sutram of Panini. Pa, ghra, dhma, sthamna, dan, drishyarti, sati, shad, sadam. Tiba, jigra, dhama, tishtha, mana, yacha, pashyaricha, dhau, shiya, sidaha. Very nice. You can repeat this today 15, 20, 100 times. Is that pa, ghra, dhma, stha, mana, dan, drishyarti, sarti, shada, sadam. Tiba, jigra, dhama, tishtha, mana, yacha, pashyaricha, dhau, shiya, sidaha. One more time. Pa is a set of dhatus, which is if you can use sutram, which is this that you can take an adesha, yatha sankhyamanudesha samanam, respectively. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dhatus. They're going to take these 11 substitutions respectively when they're followed by a pratyaya which begins with a talavya shakara as an it. Let's look at the Ashtadhyaya. We are in the Angasyadhikara now. We are looking at 7378. This is here, which is pa, ghra, dhma, sthamna, dan, drishyarti, sarti, shad, sadam, piba, jigra, dhama, tishtha, mana, yacha, pashyaricha, dhau, shiya, sidaha. Anuvritti of Shiti is coming down here. Anuvritti of Shiti. In fact, we just saw this sutram, krama parasmapadesho. So the Shiti. So when one of these dhatus, let's take dhatu pa, is followed where pratyaya which begins with a talavya shakara as an it, in this case going to be shap. It's going to be shap. What we're going to do now is that we take the dhatu pa and go the usual step by pa plus lat, and we get the tippadesha, kartari shap, which is up to this point nothing special. What is the vaishishtyam again? I said, what is the vaishishtyam of pa? So we're taking it separately. Why is it being discussed? Because it takes the adesha piba. When Shiti, when the pratyaya following begins with talavya shakara as an it, takes the piba adesha. These are all very useful dhatus. Ghra becomes jigrati, dhma becomes dhamati, stha becomes tishtati, comes in Gita many places, So dan becomes yachati, dush becomes pashyati, comes in of course Gita many places. Apashyad deva devasya shaire pandavastada, tasya vismaya vishtu rishtu rama dhananjaya. I think chapter 11. Kutanjali bhashata, Arjuna vacha, Pashyami devanstava deva dehe. So it comes in so many places. Apashyad deva devasya, coming so many places in Gita. So this is a very, very important sutram, very straightforward sutram. All it is saying is that when you have one of these 11 dhatus, they respectively, because yatha sankhya manudesha samanam, because there are 11 terms being substituted by 11 items, they be substituted respectively. 3, 1, 3, 10, yatha sankhya manudesha samanam. So what will happen? What's the condition? But the condition is that it is shiti, which means that padinam pibadayaha syuhu itsanyaka shakarado pratyaye pare. Which means that pratyaya should be such that begins with a talavya shakara, which is an it. So when you take our example right now, we took pa, we go to the steps being in tip becomes pa plus lat, then anubandha lopaha, tip, then kartari shap. Now we have the condition with dhatu pa pane is followed by it's only pa, pane, this particular dhatu, okay, pa, pane. It's followed by the pratyaya which does have a beginning with a talave shakara as an it, then takes piba adesha. Don't forget one more thing, which is when you want to do any adesha, don't forget the set of 4 rules, which is what? Alontyasya, nitya, right? And then we have the adesh parasya, and then anekashis sarvasya. So when you want to apply any substitution, always think of these sutra chatushtayam, which is the alontyasya nitya adesh parasya anekashis sarvasya. Right now we have anekashis sarvasya because the adesha piva is an anekal adesha. The entire sthani pa is going to go away. We will not, alontyasya is the default, but anekashis sarvasya, we're going to use anekashis sarvasya, the pa is going to become piba. It will be sarva adesha. Now one more small complication here is that the piba adesha is adanta adesha. It's the entire adesha is piba, not pib, but piba. There is an akara at the end. So why do we need that? Because how do we know that? That because is this akara at the end of piba uchcharanartham, or is the adesha does actually have the piba, the akara at the end? What is the adesha? Is it pib or is it piba? We could have had the akara uchcharanartham at the end in all of these. Now, what happens is there is because if the akara is not present in the adesha, then we could apply puganta laghu patasya, we could become peba. One more time, if this piba was not ending in the akara, if the adesha were to be pib, then this ikara would be a laghu upadha. We would have to apply puganta laghu patasya cha. But this piba adesha ends in the akaraha. So the upada of the angam is the bakaraha, not the ikaraha. So we cannot apply puganta laghu patasya cha. Now how do we know that? One of the ways is Panini himself has used the form pibatehe in the Ashtadhyayi. Is that Panini himself has used the form pibatehe. In 744, Panini says pibatehe. So clearly the adesha must be akara antam. If otherwise we cannot get the form pibatehe. We could become pebate. Pibati, sorry. We could become pebati. So to get the form pibati, this adesha piva is to be ending in a akaraha. There are also some other ways of doing it, but let's keep it simple for time being. So this adesha piva ends in the akaraha. So this ikara is not the laghu upadha. We cannot apply puganta laghu upadha. We get the form pibati after doing ato gune. Between the akara at the end of piva and the akara of shap, we do ato gune because this akara end of piva is not padanta, it's apadanta akara. Followed by a letter which is the guna sanya, so we get ato gune pura paryoho ekadesha is the pararupam ekadesha becomes pibati. And once you form pibati, then of course like we form bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, we get pibati, pibataha, pibanti, and we get then we get pibet, so pibatam, etc. So we got pibatu, pibatat, pibatam, pibantu, and all the lakar. We get all these 4 lakara forms. We got apibat and so on. So one more time is that these 11 dhatus, they are special. They immediately get replaced by these 11 terms, and these are very famous dhatus. Like stha becomes tishtati, dush becomes pashyati, sad becomes sidati. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita, right? Sidanti mamagatrani, mukhancha parishishyati. Comes in Gita so many places. So Sida comes in Gita. Now, one more thing in the Gita I want to notice that is Shankha Dadmuh Prutak Prutaka. Dadmuh. Now there dhatu, we have dhatu Dhamma in Gita in chapter 1. But that did not become Dhamma. Dhamma did not become Dhamma. No, why not? That must mean the pratyaya following was not such that it was beginning with talaveshya or nit. So in chapter 1 also in Gita itself we have that Shankam Yadadmau, dhatu Dhamma. That did not become Dhamma. The fact that Dhamma did not become Dhamma is telling you that there must have been a pratyaya following here which did not begin with a talave shakara nit. So you can now apply this knowledge which you are learning now to make educated conclusions or decisions about what is going on here. Even though we have not learned this form already, the fact that Dhamma did not become Dhamma means that the pratyaya following must have been such that it did not allow this sutram to trigger, which means that the pratyaya must have been such that did not have the talavev shakara as an it in the beginning. Anyway, so these 11 dhatus are special. We'll be getting many examples. Very musical sutram. One more time. Pagradma sthamna dan drishyati sarti sadasadam. Piba jigra dhama tishta mana yacha pashyarcha dhaushiya sidaha. When shiti parataha, when pratyaya following is talavesha nit at the beginning, when one last note is the piba adesha is adanta adesha, adesha is piba, which means that 7386 does not apply to do the guna adesha or the ikara. Final form is pibati. Once you get the angam piba, follow all the steps for the bhu dhatu. Instead of the angam being bhava, angam will be piba. So we'll get the laka forms in lat, lot, lung, vidiling. We can derive the same way. Now comes a very special dhatu, very interesting dhatu, very common dhatu, which is the dhatu shru. Shru shravane, said shru shravane. It's a very strange dhatu. First of all, okay, we see why is it strange. Okay, let's see what is the sutram here. We're going back to this. We look at the number again. We're going to 3174. Now 3168 is kartari shap should be stamped on your brain by now. By now, the kartari shap should be permanently stamped on your brain. Kartari shap 3160. Rest of your life 3168 kartari shap 3168 kartari shap dhatu adhikaraha. So it is sarvadhatuke kartari pratah shap pratyaya bhavati. Kartari shap 3168 should be an anchor. Now look at this number now. It's 3174, which means we are going to be something close by to that. It's below that. So what is Sutram 3174 is saying is coming below Kartari Shap. It is 3174. And what it's saying is that this prior Sutram 3173 was Swadibhyashnoho. Swadibhyashnoho. This Swadiganaha is the Panchamagana and Dhatu Pada. Panchamaganaha, which we have not studied yet. The Pratyaya Shnu is taken by these guys, like Sunoti, etc. But this Dhatu Shru is in the Bhvadiganaha. Look at the number of this Dhatu. This Dhatu number which you just saw, it's Guna number 1. 1.1092. The Bhvadiganaha. But what is the Vaishishtyam again? What is the Vaishishtyam? Vaishishtyam. The Vaishishtyam is that it takes the Gana Vyakaranam Shnu. Not optionally, Nityam. Nityam it takes. Gana Vyakaranam Shnu. Not only that, we take the Shru Adesha, that Shra U becomes Shru. So two things happen simultaneously. One is that when the Dhatu Shru is followed by the, in the same condition as Shap, which means what? Kartari Sarvadhatuke. So when that is coming, then what happens is that instead of Shap coming over here, we get the Pratyaya Shnu. So, and then concomitant with that, simultaneously, you get the Shru Adesha for Shru, Anekashit Sarvasya. The entire Angam, the entire Dhatu, Shara, U, becomes Shru, the Shakara Rikaraha. One more time, this Dhatu Shru, which is Shru Shavane, in the Bhadiganaha, number 1092, when it is followed by the Pratyaya, which is Sanya Sarvadhatukam, you use Kartari. So same conditions as Shab comes in. Same condition, Shab Vishaye. Shab Vishaye means it is followed by Pratyaya, which is Sanya Sarvadhatukam, it's Kartari. Then it takes the Pratyaya Shnu. This is not, it's Apavada for Shab. The question comes is then why does Panini pushes Dhatu in the Bhadiganaha? If this Dhatu is going to take the Gana Vyakaranam Shnu all the time, then what's the point of putting Dhatu in the Bhadiganaha? Many books don't talk about this. But I found this one good comment here on this in this book which makes sense to me. It is in this book on this is a Dhatu Patha commentary called Kshira Tarangini. It's very well edited by this Mimamsakaha, Yudhishthira Mimamsakaha. Very great scholar that he was. So he has written this nice edition of the Kshira Tarangini, which is also a Dhatu Patha commentary, which is older than the Dhatu Vritti of Saranacharya. And Yudhishthira Mimamsaka is a great scholar. He's no more. He's passed away. So Yudhishthira says that yadi shru dhatoho vadi pathe sati api shruva shru iti anena nityam shnu vikaranaha syat, which means that this dhatu shru is in bhadi ganaha. It is taking the gana vikaranam shnu always, nityam. Then what does he say? Tarhi asya bhadi patho anarthakaha. Then there's no point in putting dhatu in the bhadi ganaha, is what he asked the questions. Anarthaka syat. Tatha sati. Swadau eva evam pathet. Why not put dhatu in the swadigana itself? Why put it in the bhadigana? Satyapi evam, even though this is true, yad ayam acharya paninihi, bhadau patati. Even though this is the case, Panini said this dhatu should be in the bhadigana. So why does Panini say that? What's the provision of that? Then what does it say is that shnu pratyayam cha vidadati. So keep it in the bhadigana and put the gana vikaranam shnu. What's the point of that? Tena na nityaha shnu vikaranaha iti jnapayati, which means that this gana vikaranam shnu may not be nityam all the time. So this is jnapaka. This is a hint from Panini that this dhatu belongs to the bhadi ganaha. Yes, it does take the gana vikaranam shnu, which is normally taken by the dhatu in the fifth gana in the swadi. But the fact that Panini has still left it in the bhadi ganaha means that you will see some forms once in a while, particularly in the Veda, which you will get the gana vikaranam shap. So even though for this class it's straightforward, the dhatu shru will always take gana vikaranam shnu only, but in some places, do not be surprised, particularly in the Vedic literature, where you will see the pratyaya shap being used. Let me complete this one. It says, Tena na nityaha shnu vikaranaha iti jnapayati tatha sati shravati ityadayaha api bhauvadikaha prayoga dishtavyaha rigvede chabvikarano bhutsa shruyate. In the Rigveda, there are many places where dhatu shru takes the shap. But anyway, so the interesting point is that the shru dhatu is kept in the bhadigana by Panini. But at the same time, he has said that gana vikaranam should be shnu, which normally comes to dhatu in the swadigana, because as you saw in the Ashtadhya right now, the sutra which you looked at is the swadibhyashnu. But Panini did not move the dhatu shru in the swadigana. That can be a jnapakam. A jnapaka is that sometimes you will see the shap being used. But for the purpose of this class, in this class, we will only use shnu. But that is the reason why I think he has kept it in the bhadi ganaha. So now once you get the gana vikaranam shnu, and what I intended to tell you, and along with the gana vikaranam shnu, simultaneously comes the shru adeshaha. So this shara u shru takes the gana vikaranam shnu, of course, sarvadhatuke, kartari sarvadhatuke, and then along with that, at the same time, gets the shru adeshaha. So what we get shru plus lat. So that is the vaishishtyam of this dhatu. Shru plus lat, then we get, remember, this shru taking the shru adesha, the shara u shru, taking shru adesha only comes when the gana vikaranam shnu come, not otherwise, anyasana na bhavati. If we say the word like shruti, shravanam, shrutam, in these places there will be no shru adesha, it will be shara u shru, shruti, shrutam. We don't have the gana vikaranam shan coming, because that is not kartari sarvadhatuke. So this adesha of shru only takes place when the shnu comes. The shnu only comes kartari sarvadhatuke. Okay, so we take the let pratyas for vartamani. Let's go through the usual steps, which we won't repeat anymore. We got lasya, then we got tip, then we got the gana vikaranam shnu, apavada for shap, we got shnu. Now what happens is that at this point, this shnu should be doing the guna adesha for shru because of sarvadhatika ardhatuka yoho, as we already learned. But now comes the next, which also the next sutram is very, very important sutram. Sarvadhatukam apit. Please pay attention, please pay attention here. This is the sarvadhatukam apit. Very important sutram. Please tag this one. What it's saying is that, look at where did we jump now? We jumped to 124. We jumped to 124. Section of the Ashtadhyayi, Panini defines what is kit and nit. This is a special section of Ashtadhyayi. It's starting with 1 to 1. 1 to 4 we're looking at right now, where Panini makes the some pratyay as kit, some as nit. So this starts with 1 to 1, which says nit, then Pani is going to put some kit. But the Sarvadhatukam apit says if your pratyaya has sanya of Sarvadhatukam and it does not have the pakara as an apit, it becomes nitvat. So Sarvadhatukam apit says that if you have a pratyaya, sanya of Sarvadhatukam by ting shis Sarvadhatukam, and it does not have the pakara as an it, becomes nitvat, as if it has the kavarga panchama ng as an it. So one more time, the Sarvadhatukam apit is an important sutram. So now, the moment you see a pratyaya which is sanya of Sarvadhatukam by ting shit Sarvadhatukam, immediately in your mind, think about Sarvadhatukam apit immediately. At that point itself, you should say, does this pratyaya have purs in it, or does it not? If it does not have purs in it, it becomes nitvat. One more time. Whenever you see a pratyaya which is sanya of Sarvadhatukam, including shap, including tip, all of these, if that pratyaya does not have pakaras in it, then it's going to become nitvat. Nitvat means that it will take all the operations. It will undergo or allow all the operations which a nit pratyaya would allow. So this ka, ga, nga, the ka varga panchama letter as an it, so it will behave like a pratyaya which has the ka varga panchama ngakara as an it. So this, that's why it's very important sutram is Sarvadhatukam apit. Any pratyaya sanya Sarvadhatukam goes two ways. It goes two ways. Either it has purs in it, does not have purs in it. Does not have purs in it, then immediately make it nitvat. Now, why is it important for us right now? What's the big deal? What is the big deal with nitvat? It's the next sutram, which says that is kiniticha. Look at the number 115. Kiniticha. What's the 115 coming over here? Look at the 115. So what it's saying is that we had the sutram iko guna vriddhi, which we have seen 113. Again, these are in the Ashta, these are anchors now for you in the Ashtadhyaya. These are anchors. We have iko guna vriddhi, we have seen. And Panini says do guna vriddhi, using the word guna vriddhi specifically does not give the sthani, then only the ik can take guna vriddhi. So when Panini prescribes guna vriddhi, this we've seen before, then only the ik vowel will take guna vriddhi. If Panini does not specify the sthani, so specify the place of operation, and Panini says do guna adesha vriddhi adesha, using the words guna or vriddhi, then you take only ik. Now then the next sutram has a no coming into it. Then comes kiniticha. So what this sutram 115 says, don't do guna or vriddhi adesha. So these pratyas become important. They lose their power of doing a guna or vriddhi adesha for the ik letter. So one more time, the pratyaya is marked with a gakara as an it, or a kakara as an it, or ngakara as an it. So ka varga prathama, kakaraha, ka varga titiyaha, gakaraha, or ka varga panchama, ngakaraha. If one of these three is an it in the pratyaya, it becomes important with regard to doing guna or vriddhi. So that's not the only prayojanam for marking as a nit. There will be others. For example, there will be things like samprasaranam, etc. But for right now, this is one of the most important ones for us. For example, there might be samprasaranam coming because of kit and nit. So this sutram kiniticha is not the only use of doing the nit or kit, but it's the most important one for us right now, which is that a pratyaya which is marked with an it, which is either the ka varga prathamaha, ka varga titiyaha, ka varga panchamaha, that becomes important in doing a guna or vriddhi adeshaha. So that immediately when you think of Sarvadhatukam apit, think of kiniticha, which means that pratyaya cannot do any guna or vriddhi adeshaha. Now why do we think of this before, by the way? How come this is such an important rule? Why we take it only now? Why not before? Because before we had only shap. So far we only had shap. That had purs in it. So we did not need to worry about this one at that time. And then once we made shap, we got angam ending in akaraha. So there's no need to look at it up to now, because the shap was protecting us. Because the angam we're getting was ending in shap pratyaya. So there was no need to look at any of this. For example, we take tip tajji, for example. The tip has purs in it, but the next pratyaya tas does not have purs in it. So pratyaya tas also becomes nitvat. I cannot do any guna vriddhi adesha for the ik letter. So let's go to a document here. It says that sarvadhatukam. So what we have? We had a situation of shru, nu, ti. For the pratyaya shnu came in specifically by sutram shruva shrucha. We got the shru adesha for the dhatu, sarvadesha, anekashi sarvasya. And then we had, now this nu was taking a claim to doing the guna adesha over here because of sarvadhatuka ardhataka yoho. But we're going to stop that now because this pratyaya shnu has a sanya of sarvadhatukam. Remember, this is only the pratyaya sanya of sarvadhatukam. But ting chit sarvadhatukam, because sarvadhatukam apitta. Nothing else, only sarvadhatukam apitta. This pratyaya shnu very well has sanya of sarvadhatukam, but ting chit sarvadhatukam, it also is apitta. So we can definitely apply sarvadhatukam apit. Make this pratyaya shnu nyatvat. It will behave as if he has the kavarga pancham as an it, and that triggers kiriticha. So it says that affix which has the gakara or kakara or gakara as an it is not allowed to perform operation of guna vriddhi on the ikwa. So then we stop the guna adesha. We get the form shru. No, so the shru will not take guna adesha because this pratyaya shnu, which is shnu, who has sanya of sarvadhatukam by ting is sarvadhatukam, it is also apit, becomes nyatvat kiniticha. These two are very, very important rules. All rules are very important. You're going to hear them literally 100,000 times. So they're going to be coming all the time. Like today, if you talk to Atobisa is, these are very simple for today. So similarly, these rules also a year from now, this will be very, very basic for you. From a year from now, this will be very, very, very basic for you. So we'll practice. This is the heart of Panini now. Now we're getting to the heart of Panini now. This thing in the Prakriya really is, you're getting to the top of the Panini hill slowly. We are walking to the top of the Panini hill now. Within the next year, you're getting close to the top, means that the rest you can study on your own also. You get the basic feel of the Ashtadhyayi, how it interacts, how it behaves, how these operations are stopped, how they're done, how they're overruled, and all these things, So if you can, stay along for the next year or so, it'll be nice. Okay, so shru we get no guna adesha of a shru because this becomes nitvat, kinita gunanashedha. But the pratyaya tip is a pit pratyaya. Now that can do guna adesha for nu. Nothing stopping that. But that is a sanya sarvadhatukam. That's true. Thing is sarvadhatukam, but it's pit pratyaya. So the sutram sarvadhatukam apit will not apply to tip. So that can very well do the guna adesha for nu. But sarvadhatuka ardhataka yoho. You get the form shru, noti, and finally, of course, the 7384, sarvadhatuka ardhataka yoho, you get shunoti by the natvam. Ru varna natvam, because we have the rukara nimittam here, shunoti. So one more time. We got, first of all, the dhatu was shara, u, shu, and dhatu patha. But Panini said this dhatu will take the gana vyakaranam shnu, and along with that, at the same time, the dhatu will take a sarva adesha of shru. And then what happened was that the nu was trying to do the guna adesha of a shru, that was stopped. But nu became nitvat, because sarvadhatukam apit kiniticha guna nishedha. But then the tip can still do guna of the nu. We get shru, noti, shunoti. Now rest of the forms, dvitiya, dvivachanam, we get the form shunutaha, nothing special here. Again, we get the shru adesha, get the vikaranam shnu we get. But here what happens is that both the shnu as well as the tas, both of them are apit. Sarvadhatukam apit, because the tas, unlike tip, the tas does not have the pers in it. So neither we cannot do guna for the shnu nor for the ru of the shru, because they are both important. They don't have pakaras in it. Important. So this shnu and the tas become nitvat by sarvadhatukam apit. And neither can tas do guna of nu, neither can nu do shnu do guna of the shru. Gashunataha. Shunataha is the form. Now comes a special rule, and the rule when we look at the bahuvachanam. The first steps will be the same. We got shru plus lat. We got the shru plus lat. We got shru adesha gana vikaranam shnu pratyaya ji. So up to this point, nothing special, the same as before. Shru and ji. Of course, jontaha. Anta, this is shru, nu, anti. Now comes at this point, you get a sandhi karyam now. So only sandhi karyam. This sutra we should look at only for sandhi karyam. Because when we got shru, nu, anti, At this point, between nu and, of course, here also, same thing. The shnu is apit, sarvatikam apit, nitvat, so is G. Neither shnu nor G has pers in it, and they both have sanya of sarvadhatukam. So neither can G do guna of shnu, nor can shnu do guna of shru. So that is fine. But now the sandhi karya between nu and anti. First of all, iku and achi is very samanya niyama. This is the general rule. Iku and achi wants to come. But then comes sutra which you have studied, which is the achishnut dhatu bhruvam. Achishnut dhatu bhruvam, your young vangao. Achishnut dhatu bhruvam, your young vangao. Because this Vyakaranam shnu we are using right now. Remember when we looked at the sutram 6477 before, we looked at this when ach follows, then in angam, we are in the anga shadikara now. Watch out where you are. Always know where you are. Always know where you are. We are in the anga shadikara now. So we have an angam here. The angam right now is shru nu. The pratyaya is G, which has become anti now. So we do have an angam ending in shnu over here. And so this sutram says that achishnut dhatu bhruvam. So far we have not used this one before. We have used this one in the dhatu, for the dhatu we have used before so far, but now we are angam ending in shnu. So what does sutram say? That instead of getting the yanna adesha, we get the uvanga adesha. Uvanga adesha. But we don't want the uvanga adesha. We want the yanna adesha here. So one more time. First thing came eco energy 6177, which is general rule, eco energy 6177. And then after that we got 6477. Look at the numbers now, by the way. 6177 eco energy 6477, which is says achishnut dhatu bhruvam, your young vangau. Remember this connection. The Ashtadhyayi numbers, you know. You can have fun with the numbers. You can have some fun with the Ashtadhyayi numbers. Because 6177 eco energy 6477 is the young vanga adesha. By achishnut dhatu bhruvam, your young vangau. So then, but now comes a further special rule which says hushnavos sarvadhatuke. If this rule were not to be there, we were doing the uvanga adesha. You changed of the u, we get uva. But we don't want that. We want back the yanna adesha, which we lost because it's uvang. The uvang came and overruled the yanna adesha of eco energy. But we want the yanna adesha. Atra yan ishyate atra. So this is Vishesha Sutram, Pushnavos Sarvadhatuke. Pushnavos Sarvadhatuke. What does Sutram say? Is that Juhote Dhatu Hu, which is not today's topic. So you can ignore this one. Again, I said to you before, if you see a Sutram which has more than what you need, leave what you don't need right now. So this Dhatu Hu is not today's topic. We'll leave it for today. We'll come back to it. We're going to see it because Dhatu Hu is the first Dhatu of the Jyotyadi Gana. We're going to see it in a few months now, in a few weeks. So let's leave it for time. We'll only look at the second part of it. So Juhotehe we'll ignore for time. We don't need that for time being. But Shnu Pratyayantasya Anekacho. If you have anga anekach and ending in the pratyaya shnu and asanyoga purvasya, which is asanyoga purva uvarnasya, asanyoga purvo varnasya, yan syad ajado sarvadhatuke. The number of conditions here. First of all, should a pratyaya which is ajadi has sanya of sarvadhatukam. The pratyaya ji has sanya of tingshit sarvadhatukam. It has sanya of sarvadhatukam. It's also ajadi because you got the jontaha, we did that. So anti is a pratyaya. So just always check every single condition of the vritti. The vrittis are very carefully debated for years and years, for centuries almost centuries, literally centuries, and put together. The vrittis from Kashika, all the way from the Kashika, which is more than 1,000 years old, up to Siddhanta Kaumudi, which is 500 years old. The vrittis have been very carefully put together for us. So always check the vrittis, which says that ajado sarvadhatuke. So pratyaya anti sanya sarvadhatukam is also ajadi. Then what happens for the dhatu juhote? We'll leave it. That's not today. We'll leave it for. We don't. This is not what we have today. We'll come back to it at a later date. But we have this one. Shnu pratyayantasya anekacha angasya. So we have an angam which is shru nu, which is ending in the pratyaya shnu. It is aneka because we have the rukara and the ukara. Then asanyoga purvo varnasya. The ukara here doesn't have a sanyoga prior to it. Take a dhatu like apnuvanti, comes in Gita, napnuvanti mahatmanaha. In that apnuvanti, what happened there was, we had apnu, that ukara had a sanyoga prior to in apnuvanti. Here we don't have a sanyoga. So that the condition that the ukara should not have a sanyoga prior to it. So there should be a pratyaya which is ajadi. The pratyaya should have sanya of sarvadhatukam. The angam should be anekach ending in shnu. Anekach ending in shnu. And the ukara at the end of the angam, should not have a sanyoga prior to it. One more time. The pratyaya following should be an ajadi pratyaya. Should have sanya of sarvadhatukam. Angam should be anekach ending in shnu. The ukara at the end of the angam should not have sanyoga prior to it. When that happens, instead of getting the uvangadeshaha, we get the yannadeshaha. Becomes shunvanti. The condition here is that you should have the vakara comes as an adeshaha. When the ukara at the end of an angam should be anekach and should end in the shnu pratyaha, and then there is no sanyoga prior to the ukara, and the pratyaya falling as sanya of sarvadhatukam, and it is the ajadi sarvadhatuka pratyaya. It's the form shunvanti. So first came ikoanachi, then came achinu dhatu bruvam uvangadeshaha, and finally came hushnu was sarvadhatuke. Smaller domain. That's the Paninian style. Smaller domains. Ikoanachi is varna niyamaha. This applies everywhere. Achinu dhatu bruvam only when shnu dhatu bruvam. Now hushnu was sarvadhatuke. Only for dhatu hu. Only for the shnu. And so more conditions came in now. So we got the yan adesha shunvanti. Now time is running out. Maybe I'll give you a brief thing of the remaining 2-3 rules here. We'll continue next time. I think we can probably finish this one here. So when we looked at the Uttama Purusha Dvivachanam, what happens is that we go through usual steps. We got shru plus lat. We get the Vyakaranam shnu, shruva shrucha, and simultaneously, tatsanniyogena means simultaneously with that, we get the shru adesha for the dhatu. We got shru no vas. Same thing here. Both the vas as well as the shnu become nitvat because of sarvadhatukam apit. So neither can vas do guna for the shnu, nor can shnu do guna for the shru. So we got shru nu vas. Now comes a special rule which says lopascha syanya tarasyam moho. Where are we jumping now? We're jumping to 64107 angasya adhikaraha. You already have the sutram which says ato he he, which was 64105. So you always look around. Have you been here before? Have we been here before in this part of the world? In the part of Ashtadhyayi. In the part of the Ashtadhyayi world, have we visited here before? Anywhere around this region? Yes, we have. We have been here before. Because we have the sutram ato he he. You already saw. Second we says bhava. Then what happens is that utascha pratyaya sanyoga purvat, and then comes lopascha syanyatarasyam voho. Lopascha syanyatarasyam voho. What is the anuvritti? Look at the price of the utascha is coming down. Asanyoga purva is coming down. Of course, it's going to become shashti in this sutram, but the ut and the asanyoga purva is coming from the prior sutram. What does sutram say? See, quite simple. It says that asanyoga purvat pratyaya utaha this one. Lopascha natrasyam moho. This 64107. Asanyoga purvasya pratyokarasya. So if you have a pratyaya ukara, should be a ukara of pratyaya. Okay, not of a dhatu or anything else. Should be pratyasya ukara. Should be asanyoga purva. Do we have that? We have that. We have shru nu vas. This ukara is the ukara pratyaya. There's no sanyoga prior to it. We only have nakara prior to it. Then takes the lopaha va. Anyatrasyam optionally moho. So if you have the ukara, short ras ukara of pratyaya, rasvaha, should be a pratyasya avayavaha. Should be pratyaya, part of pratyaya. If that doesn't have a sanyoga prior to it, it's followed by either makara or vakaraha, makara athva vakaraha, that takes lopa optionally. One more time, if you have an ukaraha, which is a pratyasya ukaraha, it has no sanyoga prior to it, asanyoga purvaha ukaraha, and parataha, you have makara athva vakaraha, tarhi lopaha anyatarasyaam. So we have shu nu plus vas. We do have an ukaraha, pratya ukaraha. There is no sanyoga prior to it because this is an it. So really what we have shru nu vas now. Remove these letters first. Shru nu vas. So then we get shu nu vas shunvas. So we get shunuvaha shunvaha, shunuvaha shunvaha, shunuvaha shunvaha. We get these two forms. Shunuvaha shunvaha. So this sutram says if you have an ukara or pratyaha, no sanyoga prior to it, followed by makara or vakaraha, takes anyatrasyam lopaha. Now let's try to put with this dhatu shru, and we'll continue from there next time. We need two more rules over here. When you jump to a lot lakara, now everything is straightforward. Again, all these forms in this document, okay? Again, thanks to Radha for putting a lot of effort in here. See, all these forms are given to you and derived in this document here. So all the steps are given here, okay? All the steps you're doing that are given here. So all the tables are put here nicely in this document. So we have this lot lakaraha, let lakara, all these forms are given to you. Right now we're jumping to this one, which is shunu. Comes in Gita. Shunu me paramam vachaha. It comes in many times in Gita, many times. Of course, in Gita, Upadesha Shastram, right? So we have the word shunu many times. So now what's happening here, when you look at the lot lakaraha, madhyam purusha ekavachanam, when you go through the usual step, begin the pratyaya, sip, yudi adesha. By the way, you know, sutram serya picture. So far, we could not appreciate that apiccha in that sutram. That serya picture, which was 3487, we could not appreciate that apiccha in that sutram so far. We're going to do it today, because when Panini says that he pratyaya becomes apit, then what happens is that because now we know the sutram which says sarvadhatukam apit, that pratyaya will become nyitvat. So the sip was actually a pit pratyaya. Sip is a pit pratyaya, of course, pit sakshat pit pratyaya. When we do the he adesha, normally by sthani vadadeshonal vidhav, the he also will become a pit pratyaya. But Pani specifically says serya piccha, ser he apiccha. It's become a pit. Now what does that affect us? Because we have the sutram sarvadhatukam apit. So that's going to make this apit going to become nyitvat. So when you do the lot lakaraha, madhya purusha ekavachanam, we can now look at, see what happens here is that because of serya picture apiccha, the he also becomes nyitvat now. In the Mahabhashyam comes a statement which is that piccha ninna nitcha pinna. I mean the pitness and nitness cannot coexist. Pratyaya cannot at the same time be pit and nit. So piccha ninna nitcha pinna. So it becomes so that doesn't affect us here really, because here actually doesn't affect us here, because here all we are doing is that when the pratyaya he came, it would normally have taken the sanivat bhavaha become pit. So here only the pitness being removed, saying serya piccha, apiccha. Previously we didn't care for that, because we had the shap protecting us over there. But now we have angam ending in shnu now. So now it does make a difference now. Because of apit it becomes nyitvat by sarvadhatukam apit, it cannot do guna of the no. Cannot do guna of the no. So we get shru nu he with the usual steps, shru nu he. At this point what happens is that comes the sutra utascha pratyaya sanyanga purvat. This is the prior rule to 64106. We just saw 64107, this 64106. 64106. This one says that ato he we have seen before. Ato he. Talking about hair look, the he takes look. When we have, it follows a pratyasya ukara is preceding, which is not sanyoga purvaha. So these two sutras you can practice at home. Ato he, utasya pratyaya sanyoga purvat, lopascha asyanyatarasya moho. Ato he we already saw when we from bhava. Similar, so here also the he will take look. If it follows the ukara of pratyaya, which is does not sanyoga purvaha. So what sutram says is that asanyoga purvat pratyayotah here look. We should have a ukara of a pratyaya, which has no sanyoga prior to it. And then if the pratyaya he follows, he takes look. We get the from shunu becomes shunu. Special sutram. Okay, last one for today. Time is really up. We only have class twice a month. So I'm sorry I go over the time. But, I want to finish this one dhatu and we'll continue next time. Usya padanta. Let's look at the vidhiling. Vidhiling is that for similar steps, we got ling and we get g. Looking at the pratyam purusha bahuvachanam. So we get the pratyaya jer jus comes, which you have seen before. Jer jus comes. Again 34108. When I said to you, when you apply tip tasji, do not leave it. Do not leave it until you finish up the karyam in the lasya adhikaraha. And here we have jer jus. So when for the this one lingaha. So in ling lakaraha, the g becomes jus. G becomes jus. So jer jus, we have just of course nothing new. We already seen that one. We get the yasut agamaha. Now here what happens is that this yasut, what did Panini say for yasut? Yasut prasyapadesh udato nyitcha. He didn't make it apit. He made yasut as a nyit because yasut is an agamaha now. It's an agamaha. So here, when yasut comes and joins either tip or tas or g, whatever, it brings the nyitness with it. Now we have a conflict. Let's say we had yasut plus tip, yasut tip. Remember, yasut is an agamaha. It's an agamaha. So agama only comes and joins like a friend. It's not a separate element. It only becomes part and parcel of something. So here, when you have yas plus tip, now tip is a pit. Well, yasut says, I want to make you nyit. So this is where the Mahabhasham statement comes, which is pitcha, ninna, nitcha, pinna. Pitness and nitness cannot coexist. So the pitness, the pit bhavaha, and the nit bhava, kavarga panchama nit bhavaha, they cannot coexist. So when yasut comes and joins tip, which is pit pratyaha, then yas tip will become nit. So the tip will have to give away its pitness, and then give way to the nitness of yasut. So yasut, when yasut comes, it is going to force the nit bhavaha on the pratyaya whether it comes, regardless pratyaya is joining is pit or not, because nitcha, pinna, pitcha, ninna. So which is the good news. So when yasut comes and joins, then no matter what pratyaya you had there, it is going to become nit, which means it will become important. It cannot do any guna adeshaha. So last sutram for today is this one, which is that when we do the pratyam purusha bahuvachanam, just anubandha lopeos, of course, ending sakara, it remains by navivakta to smaha. The chutu jakara is gone because shru us, get the yasut, prasyapadesh udato nitcha, of course, shruva shrucha. So we get shru nu yas us. Here also the shnu is apitara to come and becomes nitvat, and this has sakshat yakara as an it. So they both are important. Neither can we do guna of the shru nor guna for the nu, because shru nu yas us. Now comes the sutra which you have seen before, which is the linga salopanantyasya, which we did not use before, because before we used atoyeyaha. Atoyeyaha we have been using all this time because we had angam ending in shap, but the prior rule was linga salopanantyasya. That's the general rule. We have been using atoyeyaha so far because we had an angam ending in shap, but now we have an angam ending in shnu. We don't have an adantam angam. So we'll go back to linga salopanantyasya. When we apply that, we got shru nu ya us. And now comes the last rule for today, which is the usya padanta. Now where are we going now? Where are we going? We are going to 6196, which is a well-known country for us. Because this is the pura paryoho, eka pura paryoho adesh adhikaraha. Because this is the eka adesha adhikara, isn't it? So this is something which is known to us already. Eka pura paryoho. So 6196 says that usya padanta. Usya padanta, when the pratyaya us follows, we have apadanta avarnaha, then pura paryoho ekadeshaha, with the pararupam ekadesha. So I hope by now you're getting more and more philo ashtadhyayi, more and more and more. We're coming to 3196. Look around. What do we know around here? We know a lot of things around here. We know Vriddhirechi, we know Adgunaha, we know the Adhikara Ekpura Paryoho, we know Atogune. So we are in good territory. We are in good hands now. We have some good friends around over here. So Usya Padanta says that look at the vritti, says Apadantad avarnat, Usi pare, Pararupam ekadesha. So when we had shru nu ya us after we did the linga salopanantasya, we get between the akara of ya and the ukara. This is not the angasyadhikara. We are not in angasyadhikara. It's only varna niyamaha. Varnashita niyama it is. Doesn't say angasya. Because this yas, this is only an agamaha here. This is not a pratyaha. So the yas is only an agamaha. It came. So this doesn't, we are not in angasyadhikara. So this was, as long as we have avarnaha, which is not padanta, followed by us, pura paryoha ekadeshaha, we get the ukara and becomes shrunu yuhu. Becomes shrunu yuhu by the natvam. Let's stop here today. Again, sorry for going over time, but we have to cover in the class as far as possible. We only meet twice a month, but please follow the example. You get plenty examples. And for homework, just take sutram, which is 7377, ishu gami yamam chaha, dhatu ish gam and yam to the cha adesha alontyasya, and also checha. Get the form gachati chati. We are out of time. But anyway, these are two important rules, 7377. You can practice at home. Ishyami gamam chaha and checha. Let's do Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Paranam Bharataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Mudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnamaiti. How are you doing, Ravi? We're okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll come back in 5-10 minutes. Okay, for Ramayana.